All right, welcome back to the channel. Strange news out of the UK. Strange news. The UK Anti-Doping Administration, anti-doping, UK anti-doping. I'm not sure what the last part, whether it's an association or whatever, but Ukad says that they will not be testing fighters during this issue that's going on, the health issue that's going on across the globe. Why don't you just put out a presser that says, now's the time to dope up? You know what I mean? Free pass for cheaters, which honestly seems to be the case with UCAD anyway. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Look, man, this is just, there's a lot of things that are going to shut down in the world. It's going to be tough to get certain groceries at the grocery store. More than likely, you're not going to be able to enjoy your, trips to the movies, things like that, where it takes more than, 5 people or 10 people in the same place at the same time. It looks like we're heading that direction where the Western world is all on pretty much on lockdown. And as a result, it's reasonable that you have to take into consideration the health of your workers, UCAD workers included. So they have people that go around testing people for performance enhancing drugs. But for them to announce that they will not be doing that is tantamount to giving people a free pass to grow muscle, to build muscle, build up endurance, and then know that once this situation starts to return to normal, that they can cycle off and, hopefully schedule a fight right away and take advantage of all the unsupervised training that they've been able to take advantage of. Now, why is that specifically troubling right now? Because UK boxing, whether or not people want to admit it and you want to have your, be upset about it, you guys are in the middle of a bit of a doodle storm regarding your performance enhancing drug issues. Now, we have the issues in the United States as well, but there's just some very, very high profile ones going on in the UK. For example, let's take 3 people, for example. 3 of their world champions have all been twisted up in performance enhancing issues very, very recently. 1, Billy Joe Saunders, the WBO 168-pound champion, he just served a suspension for performance enhancing drugs. Tyson Fury seems like he's going back under investigation for a performance enhancing issue and covering up those things, and a cover up that he participated in for his performance enhancing drugs in 2015. You have Dillian White, who just tested positive for D-ball and was allowed to fight D-ball, which is Deanna ball, and was allowed to fight against Oscar Rivas, even though he had tested positive because UCAD had accepted his explanation. So you have more and more, and then as a result of the conversation that was going on with Dillian White, I received and some other people received from a confidential source. We actually received the manuals, the UCAD's rule manual. And I do not mean UCAD's rule manual that exists that you can pull off the website. I mean the internal one that has the detailed rules, regulations, processes, and procedures laid out. And I read them. Let me assure you that if UCAD wants to allow somebody to get into the ring under the influence of performance enhancing drugs, there's more than enough loopholes for them to do that. They actually do not even, they have situations in that book. It's called something called a therapeutic use exemption, a TUES, like as in Tuesday, therapeutic use exemptions, which allow them to, with the doctor's permission, right? Say a fighter says, well, the doctor tells me that I have low testosterone. And since I have low testosterone, they are prescribing me testosterone replacement therapy, whatever. Just they have prescribed to me testosterone. to help me with my low testosterone levels. And then UKAD can say, oh, well, that's reasonable. So we will allow you to take a drug, a performance enhancing drug that otherwise we would not allow you to take if you did not have that doctor's note from me, right? So that's a therapeutic use exemption. But not only do they have a therapeutic use exemption, they also have retroactive therapeutic use exemptions. A therapeutic use exemption that if you test positive for performance enhancing drugs in a test, in a test before a fight, and they find out, or after the fight, and they find out about it, they can issue you a twos retroactively, which means, hey, you tested positive for performance enhancing drugs. Do you have a doctor's note? Oh yes, this doctor just gave me the note, and he said that I have low testosterone. And they say, oh, okay, well, even though you did not inform us of that, and we did not approve of that, we can, and we will issue you a retroactive therapeutic use exemption, which means we'll just act like you never tested positive. Thank you for letting us know. So UKAD, by the way, can do this based on their own discretion. They have a meeting with I can't remember off the top of my head how many people it is, but similar to the circumstance with Dillian White, they can get a group of people together and listen to the testimony of the boxer and let him explain to them why it is that he failed the test. And if they like the explanation, they can let the drug test slide. One of the mechanisms by which they can let that failed drug test slide is by issuing a retroactive therapeutic use exemption. It is absolute garbage, because by doing all this nonsense, any of that stuff, you're allowing people to take advantage of the system and use performance. Because at the end of the day, whether or not he had low testosterone or not, or whether he forgot to hand in his doctor's note before the fight and then remembered afterwards, whatever the case is, all of this stuff is done behind closed doors, and the other fighter that is fighting him is not informed of it. Now, how many fighters, and it also allows for extreme selectivity in who they allow to issue this stuff to. They could issue to a high level fighter, like say a Tyson Fury test positive, and they say, well, what's your explanation, Tyson? Oh, well, I had a boar meat. Oh, we like that. We like that explanation. Go ahead. No worries. And then it winds up that he never tested positive. You never find out that the dude had violations. So we have no idea how many of those therapeutic use exemptions are issued in boxing and for who. The first time that we heard about therapeutic use exemptions on a large scale, in a large scale conversation was when Jarrell Big Baby Miller accused Anthony Joshua of being given therapeutic use exemptions to allow him to take artificial to raise his testosterone levels before fights artificially, and with the approval of the British Boxing Board of Control and the UK Anti-Doping Agency. It is absolutely ridiculous. So now we move into a situation where not only do you have all that in place, now you have UKAD just announcing that they're not going to be testing anybody at all. So, hey, go ahead and do what you have to do. And they say they're going to give you several weeks, right, to let you know before the testing resumes. So, hey, here we're back online now. Here we come. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. If UKAD, the one thing that UKAD shouldn't have done is let people know that they're not going to be testing. What sense does that make? Because not only now are you not testing, the people know you're not testing, so they have no fear of testing. It's just ridiculous, especially when you know it's absolutely positively rampant in boxing. And not that I like to quote Paulie Malignaggi, but I think that Paulie Malignaggi is telling the truth in this regard when he talked about how it was just look at something. You can, at a certain point in time, let me put it this way, at a certain point in time, man, you look at enough fighters, you will look at enough circumstance, dude, you can recognize who's on something, because the human body operates like a human body should operate. You do not put on, like, for example, Tyson Fury putting on 15 pounds of muscle in 2 months. At a certain point in time, man, a certain level, you got to be like, hold on, man, this dude just put on 15 pounds of muscle in 2 months. How does that even happen? That's not possible to do that without the use of artificially enhanced testosterone products like Anabol, like Nandrolone and clenbuterol and Dianabol. Now, clenbuterol is an anabolic steroid, but even look at that way the WBC raised the levels for that. It's just a mockery, man. Dillian White, Tyson Fury. I can't say Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua was not tested positive. Billy Joe Saunders. Man, you can look, there's certain fighters, dude, that I can look at, dude, and just be like, nah, without a doubt, this dude is on that stuff. Well, you know, I'll doubt it because he hasn't tested positive, but we won't know now because there is no testing. And with the therapeutic use exemptions going on in the UK, you know, man, even if they do test positive, they can let them off the hook. It's just, I mean, the whole thing is just a mockery, man. And I know that VADA, I'll keep an eye out for what VADA is going to be doing as far as testing people out of protocol. But, you know, it's a difficult situation, I understand, because you have workers that are administering these tests and they're going to be in close proximity to somebody else in order to do it. And they very well could either give the boxer something or the boxer could give them something. So, you know, there is a little bit of issue. There is an issue related to that. And I can't deny that there's not. I can't deny that there is. But at the same time, just telling people, don't worry about it, that's something else totally and completely different. But anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.